Today we're going to be going over, in addition to our daily Japa, we're going to be going over the female Diksha Guru issue, particularly in regards to Srila Prabhupada's books. I had actually gone over this, a few of you who had joined me on Saturday, I believe. We covered this topic on Saturday, and those who joined me live will remember we went over this on Saturday. However, that recording was corrupted, so I was unable to upload it to Facebook. So I'm doing it again here today so that I can upload the recording to Facebook. Srila Prabhupada's books. First of all, I believe that Srila Prabhupada's letters are being systematically, I wouldn't say systematically, are sometimes being shunted to the side, the importance of Srila Prabhupada's letters. Now, we talked about this in the part on Srila Prabhupada's letters. I believe that was part 3, where it's described that Srila Prabhupada's letters are, and these are the words used, Srila Prabhupada's letters are redundant, I like that one, irrelevant. I actually heard one, not person, I'm quoting senior devotees, Prabhupada disciples saying this. Redundant, irrelevant, superfluous is another word to describe Srila Prabhupada's letters. I vehemently and strongly disagree. I understand what they mean, at least I'm trying to understand what they mean, in that Srila Prabhupada's letters have to be taken in context. With that, I absolutely agree. And I also agree to the extent where if you want to call them superfluous or redundant in relation to Srila Prabhupada's books, because in that way, yes, they are. Because in Srila Prabhupada's letters, Srila Prabhupada does not contradict, in principle, anything in his letters. He demonstrates how to apply the principles from his books to an individual, but he never compromises the principle itself. In other words, the letter gives instructions to that individual on how to live the principle according to the possibilities, according to the life, according to the reality of that individual. So in that sense, one can say, yes, the letters are superfluous, because if you want the principle, don't go to the letters, because the letters are actually talking about application, not the principle. In most cases, in a lot of cases, we have to see it in that light, the context. It is redundant in the sense that, yes, the letters are saying the same thing the books are saying. Unfortunately, sometimes the way I hear it, I'll put the responsibility on myself, the way I hear it is that Srila Prabhupada's letters are being diminished in terms of their importance. I see it very, very differently, because in Srila Prabhupada's letters, because Srila Prabhupada's letters are redundant, because they are, I wouldn't say superfluous, not at all superfluous, redundant. They repeat what's going on in Prabhupada's books. They repeat the principle and work with the application. That is what makes them extraordinarily valuable, extremely valuable, because we see the application of principle in real life, in real time. Sometimes you can read the Bhagavatam, a purport in the Bhagavatam, a story in the Bhagavatam, a principle in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you think, good God in heaven, how do I apply that? The letters. That's what makes the letters so incredibly valuable. You see the principles in Srila Prabhupada's books activated in real time, with a real flesh and blood person, not some saint of a different yuga. So the letters are extremely valuable, especially for, I think, leaders in ISKCON. Because as a leader in Krishna consciousness, we have to function, we have to execute on the principles that Srila Prabhupada put for the organization. But we also have to see how to apply those principles in the myriad circumstances that leaders are going to come across. So Prabhupada's letters, I think, are the backbone of the leadership, any leadership courses there are in ISKCON. They should go to the letters of Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Prabhupada's disciples and Srila Prabhupada's leaders, to teach and train the upcoming leaders on the application of principles, the execution of principles in real time, in real life, on the practical day-to-day reality of an individual's life. I'm not going to go into the letters. This is about the books. We went into the letters. Go to part 3 to hear what I think about letters and the female Diksha Guru issue. At the end of this is going to happen in 8 parts. At the end, I'll wrap it up in the conclusion, and we'll recap each one of these segments in brief when we go through the conclusions. So we'll touch on the letters again at the end. Books. In regards to the female Diksha Guru issue, a lot of times they point Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada's books. Discard the letters. Don't worry about the letters, because the letters, it's all throughout the letters. But anyways, don't read the letters. It's in the books. What did Srila Prabhupada say in his books? And that's a wonderful question. What did Srila Prabhupada say about guruship, if you will, in his books? The go-to argument, the go-to principle, concept, incident in the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada's books, that the persons against the female Diksha Guru issue, or on the opposite side, if you will, is the Dhruva Maharaj story, wherein, in the story, Suniti is described as Dhruva Maharaj as Path Pradarshaka Guru. And it's described, Srila Prabhupada described, that she could not be his Diksha Guru, that had to be Narad Muni. She could not be his Diksha Guru because she was his mother. And specifically, I believe was the word used, a woman. That is the go-to quote from Srila Prabhupada's books that is often brought up to say Srila Prabhupada didn't want it. This is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada's books, which are the law books for the next 10,000 years. And I look at that and I think, oh yeah, that's a very interesting, I like the way we look at that. Let's actually peel back some of the layers here. And let's put it in contrast about statements in Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada talked about what it means to be a guru throughout the Bhagavatam, all over the Bhagavatam. Never, not once, ever did Srila Prabhupada describe the qualifiers or disqualifiers for being a guru as gender. The qualifiers or disqualifiers of being a guru was not even based in Varnashram. And we touched on this in part 2. We went over Varnashram. So all throughout Srila Prabhupada's books, when he describes gurus, he never lists Varnashram, he never lists gender or sex as a qualifier or disqualifier for being a guru. Never. All throughout Srila Prabhupada's books, all throughout the Bhagavatam. However, we have this one incident in a story in relation to Dhruva Maharaj's guru and disciple relationship. And Srila Prabhupada says Suniti, a specific individual, could not be Dhruva Maharaj's guru, a specific individual, because she was his mother, a particular, very specific role and relationship, and because she was a woman, a gendered one or issue in Satya Yuga. Right? It took place. To be honest, we don't even know which Mahayuga it took place in, whether it was the current Mahayuga we are experiencing, or if it was even a different Mahayuga, or even a different Manvantara. That's unclear. Those of us who try to wrap our heads around Kalpa Bheda, we know that that is it's a very difficult concept to get around and understand and to investigate, right? Yes, it happened in Satya Yuga, but which Satya Yuga? So this incident of Dhruva, the story of Dhruva Maharaj and Suniti, is a very, very specific incident relating to a very specific time and place where there was absolutely no need for female Diksha Gurus in a time and place where that was the, I was going to say coin of the realm, that was the nature of the world at that time, of the universe at that time. So you take this story, this situation, happened in Satya Yuga, Lord only knows which Manvantara, with a very specific relationship between two individuals. The fact that persons like Nada and Muni are available, and the cultural, culture is even the wrong word because it's Satya Yuga. It's a completely different reality, a completely different reality. So this is the one place and the one example that is pulled from the Bhagavatam wherein is described that's why we should not have Diksha Gurus. That's it. There is no other statement in Bhagavatam where Srila Prabhupada says women cannot be guru. There is no other statement anywhere. Now, I could be wrong. The last time I read all of Srila Prabhupada's books, I was 15 years old. I have no idea what I read. So certainly I could have missed something. If there is a statement in Srila Prabhupada's books, in his purport somewhere, where he says women cannot be guru because they're women, that is actually what we're looking for. Because Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. What he says goes, regardless of anything else. As the founder Acharya of ISKCON, his instruction is law. If at any point in the Srila Prabhupada's books, there's a statement that says women cannot be guru because they're women, then that puts the entire issue to rest. I haven't heard that statement. No one showed me that statement. I haven't found that statement, and I have looked for it. The only thing that keeps coming up, that is keep brought forth to me, is this story with Dhruva Maharaj and Suniti. You balance that with every single statement in Srila Prabhupada's books about guruship, and the qualifications to be a guru never mentions gender. The qualification for being guru never mentions varnashram. This is the only thing that is brought forward. It is not disregarding it. It is just putting that in balance with everything that Srila Prabhupada said in his books. I haven't gone to letters. We've done letters. We know what Srila Prabhupada says in his letters and in individual instructions. We're talking about his books now. And all throughout Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada is always talking about the guru-disciple relationship. Always. It's everywhere. The guru-disciple relationship. Doesn't bring up varnashrams, right? There'll be a story or an incident, in Satya Yuga, this Yuga, that Yuga, which Manvantara, who knows? And it'll be an issue, a philosophical principle of, can't think of anything at the moment, but then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, because of this principle, in ISKCON, we do this. He'll say that. He's done that numerous times. He will point to a principle taken from Satya Yuga, and he'll say, based on that principle, that's why in ISKCON we do this. So, taking the fact that Srila Prabhupada has done that numerous times in his books, you would think that at this incident, Dhruva Maharaj Suniti story, it is the perfect time for Srila Prabhupada to say, because we see an example here, this is the reason why women can't be guru, because they are women. The example is the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Suniti could not be his guru because she was a woman. That's why in ISKCON we do not have female gurus. He's done that for numerous other principles, numerous other policy initiatives that he implemented in ISKCON. He pointed to the Bhagavatam, he pointed to varnashram, he pointed to a whole number, hosts of philosophical stories and points and the Puranas to implement a policy, to buttress and found a policy in ISKCON which he wanted to be established and executed upon. He didn't do it for this one. Perfect time, if there ever was one. The story of Dhruva Maharaj and Suniti, for Srila Prabhupada to say, therefore, in ISKCON, we do not have female gurus. That would put the entire issue to rest. Read that segment. Srila Prabhupada is relaying a story. Philosophy all through it. Philosophy all through it. But where is the instruction that in ISKCON we do not have female gurus? when he actually has said everywhere else that you can. In his letters, throughout his books, he says the qualification for the guru, he doesn't bring up gender. But this is the one time, the only place where we can bring up something that is close to Srila Prabhupada saying there can't be female gurus. And it's hanging on a very, very thin thread, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now, if there is a statement that I have missed where Srila Prabhupada said women cannot be guru because they're women, that's the issue. That's the ball game. That is the ball game. Everything else doesn't matter. Even issues of varnashram, preaching in the West, none of it matters. If Srila Prabhupada said women cannot be guru because they're women, that's the ball game. That is how ISKCON must, that is the way ISKCON must move forward on this. Srila Prabhupada instructions trumps everything for ISKCON. So tomorrow we'll go over repercussions of implementing, executing this instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Let's chant some japa. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're going to have to cut my Japa short because life is getting started. But you can continue the rest of the round in your own time. I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 where we'll go over the repercussions and the splitting of ISKCON because of this issue. Hare Hare.